Hello everyone, welcome to Tommy's Station. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, I sold my um, Konrad Dressler electric locomotive dating back from the 60s, quite rare. I also sold my Jouef Inox um, 3-wagon set, the lead wagon with no chassis. So with the proceeds of the sale, I've gone and bought something a bit unusual, and it's this little beauty, part of it. This is made in Hungary. It's called Jouef. That's the name of the company. And this is an A255 locomotive that was made for the Greek railways. Now this one is a terrible runner. I bought it knowing that it wasn't superb, but I thought I'll have a look and see what I can do with it. So there's the original motor, 3-pole, very, very rough. Also, I fitted one of my motors with the long shafts, and I thought that might cure it because the motor was so rough. I thought the vibrations were traveling through to the gears. However, it's still extremely noisy. Now, if you notice, there's a grey pinion there, and that's from one of my old Pico bogies. There's the one I removed. It's the mesh isn't quite good enough, so by changing it, I improved the mesh, but it's still noisy. So I'll just show you what I mean. I have to stretch behind me. Okay, let's have a look. You think, that's okay. What's wrong with that? I have improved it, but I haven't cured it. And as many of you will have gathered now, I like my Locos to be smooth and quiet. This isn't. Listen to this. Hear that? And when it gets warm, it's even worse. So I'll stop it there and bring it back. The directional lighting works. One good thing. Yeah, so I thought, what can I do? I've tried everything that I know to quieten noisy locos, but this one is just, the build quality is not very good, I'll be honest. So I'll show you there. So as you can see, I've used my special grease to try and calm it down, but nothing. So here we are, Jouef, made in Hungary. So that's a shame. I thought, that's it now. I'll never find another chassis. These are very, very rare. So I had to come up with a plan, and it's a very cunning plan. Here we have a Roco 1044 electric loco. Now, I don't use these with pantographs. I don't use them on my layout. That's why I sold my Konrad Dressler, so that someone else can get the pleasure out of it. So what I've done, I've used the chassis from that and put it under the Jouef body, and I think it looks quite nice. I've had to repaint it. It was black, so I painted it in the original grey it would have been. So what I've done, I've installed a driver and his mate. I've also fitted a skirt so I could install buffers, because the buffers were on the chassis on the original loco. Now this came with 6 wagons in the Greek railway livery. So there's one there. I'll just pan back around, and there's another one there, full girth made in Hungary. The wagons are actually quite good, not bad at all. It's just a shame about the quality of the locomotives. I think these were like the hobby range, for want of a better word. So I've installed an M coupling, a hook, and a couple of chain links, and just generally given it a wash and brush up. Now, this took no modification at all. The chassis was an absolutely perfect fit in the body. So I could actually put the chassis back under the 1044 without any problem. So we set it off. So it's pulling a rake of 4 of the Greek railway passenger wagons. First 3 are first class and the last one is second. Now then, I hope I don't upset anybody, but this full girth locomotive reminds me very much of Jouef. Jouef have, in my opinion, very, very good bodies, but the chassis and motors and drives were terrible, very, very noisy. So this reminds me very much of a Jouef. Diesels, I'm not talking about the steam. Some of the steam locomotives are amazing. Now then, these are long passenger wagons, so you can have a dragging going around the curve there. I'll go back to the chassis in a second, because after all my hard work getting it to run a bit quieter, there's another problem with them, which I should show you now. So I now have an Austro-Hungarian locomotive. Loco made in Austria, and the Loco was made in Hungary. So I now have locomotives from numerous countries. I had from France, the Jouef, no longer anymore. Oh, I've got one small one, yes. So France, Germany, Austria, Slovenia, England, and a couple of, it could be one American, the hobby range. This is running very, very nicely now. Just when I thought all was lost. The chances of buying spares for these are impossible. And from what I've looked at on YouTube, they're not very good runners anyway. So even if I did buy another chassis, I'd probably end up with the same problem. Right, so I'll stop it there. Now then, I'm going to zoom back around to the chassis to show you what I'm talking about. This is, obviously, I'll put it down there. This is the underside. Now then, excuse fingers. That's the total maximum travel of both bogies, not just this one. The other one's the same. Now then, just when I thought it's possible I could use this, when I went to run it around my track, it derailed on the first curve because it doesn't have the articulation from the bogies. So what I'll do, I shall set this one off and show you what I mean. Now with the body shell on, the sound is amplified 5 times. It's really, really noisy. See, it's struggling going around that curve. Now then, now you'll see when it comes here. It barely goes around. There we go, see, look. That is not a tight curve. So I have a feeling you could only use this on maybe 4th radius, I don't know. It's not very good at all, is it? It's struggling. So, like I say, even if I managed to get it to run half decently, it still wouldn't go round the track. Maybe on my outer line, but I wouldn't run it no there. So we go back to my modified version. I'm quite happy how this runs now. Off we go. Pick the speed up a touch. Something I noticed when I serviced this chassis before I painted it. I took the motor out and gave it a good clean, and what I noticed was it has an internal fan, so maybe you can hear that now. So it actually pushes air through the motor. Very, very clever, and not a bad sound either. So my review of the Fogarth Loco, the A255, would be don't buy them. Not if you're a serious modeler anyway. Maybe for a kiddie with large curves, etc., maybe that's fine. But anyway, these are very, very rare. That's what attracted me to it. You just can't find them. So like my Konrad Dressler, that was also very, very rare. I've sold that and now managed to get hold of another rare one. Although not original, somebody might design it one day. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with it really now. Like I say, it reminds me very much of Jouef products. And there we go. So once more for the road. A bit fast this thing. And I won't say how much, but I didn't pay a lot for this. I had no idea how poor it would be, so I took a gamble. But again, I didn't pay an extortionate amount for it. The sale of the Konrad Dressler and the Jouef more than covered the cost of this. And like I say, with 6 passenger coaches, not bad, not a bad deal at all. Silky smooth runner now, and quiet, exactly how I like them. So all was not lost. Luckily I had that Locos 1044 in the drawer doing nothing. So it now has a second lease of life as a diesel hydraulic. And I know those of you who are well into these models, the chassis is from an electric Loco, not a diesel, so I'm not going to change any of those details because I can always put it back in the body shell as original. Okay, so there we go. Thank you for watching. Bye now.